Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let's dive into a story that's been buzzing around the NFL circles lately, and it's got the potential to shake things up not just in the NFC North, but across the entire league. We're talking about the possibility, and I emphasize possibility because it's not set in stone yet, of a trade involving Micah Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys' superstar linebacker. And if this situation unravels the way some insiders suggest it might, the Green Bay Packers could very well find themselves in a prime position to make a bold move. Think about it. Parsons, a two-time All-Pro and one of the most disruptive defensive players in the league, potentially on the move. That's a game-changer for any team, especially one like Green Bay that's looking to reassert itself as a contender. Now, before we get into the details of why this might happen and what it could mean for the Packers, let's set the scene. Micah Parsons has been nothing short of spectacular since entering the league. He's just 26 years old, already making waves with his relentless pass-rushing ability, his versatility on the field, and his leadership qualities. In the 4 seasons he's played, he's been a consistent threat to quarterbacks, recording at least 12 sacks in each of those campaigns. That kind of production, combined with his age and athleticism, makes him one of the most valuable defensive assets in the NFL today. And yet, despite all of this, there's tension brewing behind the scenes, primarily between Parsons and the Cowboys management, which, as you all know, is often led by owner Jerry Jones. The core of the issue seems to revolve around contract negotiations. This isn't new for the Cowboys, who have a history of complicated negotiations with their star players. Last summer, it was CeeDee Lamb, who had to hold out through training camp before finally signing a hefty 4-year, $136 million deal. Now, this summer, it's Parsons' turn at the center of a potential storm. According to reports from The Athletic's Diana Rossini, the situation is escalating. Apparently, Jerry Jones himself sat down with Parsons to discuss an extension earlier this year, but the two had very different interpretations of those conversations. Jones reportedly viewed those talks as formal negotiations, almost like a business transaction, which is strange considering Parsons. Parsons, on the other hand, saw those talks as more casual or informal, perhaps just some preliminary discussions. The linebacker's agent, David Mulugheta, has been trying to get the Cowboys to negotiate on his client's behalf, but reports indicate that the team has rebuffed those efforts this summer. It's a strange, almost baffling handling of what should be straightforward negotiations for a player of Parsons' caliber. And as the situation stands now, it's getting tense enough that Parsons is considering requesting a trade if things don't improve. Imagine that for a moment. Parsons, a cornerstone of Dallas defense, possibly on the move because of a miscommunication or poor management by Jerry Jones. That's not just speculation. It's a scenario that could very well happen if the negotiations continue to sour. And if that's the case, where could Parsons land? Well, that's where the Green Bay Packers come into the picture. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. A trade for Parsons? That sounds like a long shot, right? Well, perhaps. But when you look at the current landscape of NFL contracts, the market value for elite pass rushers is pushing ever higher. And Parsons, with his age and production, is right on the cusp of setting a new benchmark in terms of salary and trade value. Packers, for their part, should be ready and willing to pounce if the opportunity arises. They've got the cap space, especially in 2024, and they've got the motivation to bolster their defense, particularly the pass rush, that has been inconsistent at times. Think about it. The Packers are trying to build a defense that can truly compete at the highest level, especially with the playoffs approaching. Rashan Gary is a proven commodity, but he needs a reliable partner to complement him on the other side. Parsons fits that mold perfectly. His ability to rush the passer from multiple angles, his versatility to drop into coverage, and his leadership qualities make him exactly the kind of player that can transform a defense. And let's not forget, Jeff Hafley, the Packers' defensive coordinator, would have a field day deploying Parsons in a variety of schemes, creating mismatches for opposing offenses. Another factor that makes this scenario intriguing is the relationship between the Packers and David Mulugheta, Parsons' agent. The Packers have a history with Mulugheta, as he also represents Jordan Love and Xavier McKinney, both key players for Green Bay. Plus, Jordan Love has spoken publicly about his relationship with Parsons, even appearing on his podcast and asking about the possibility of playing together someday. Parsons responded that he's a for-lifer in Dallas, but he also called Jerry Jones his dog, which shows there's some respect there, even if negotiations are strained. That makes a potential deal more plausible, especially if Parsons becomes available and the Packers see it as a chance to land a franchise-changing player. Now, let's talk about the financials because that's always a big part of these negotiations. Parsons is heading into the last year of his rookie deal, with a fifth-year option worth approximately $24 million in 2025. Naturally, he wants a big extension, and rightfully so. He's made the Pro Bowl in each of his seasons, and his sack numbers, his disruptive presence, and his youth make him a prime candidate for a major deal. Recently, we saw Myles Garrett, another top-tier pass rusher, sign a 4-year, $160 million extension with the Browns, and T.J. Watt just signed a 3-year, $123 million deal with the Steelers, averaging around $41 million per year. Those contracts set the bar high, and Parsons is likely to surpass them given his age and production. What does that mean for the Cowboys? Well, they'd probably be looking for a significant package in return, likely a first-round pick or more, plus an extension that reflects Parsons' value. That's where the Packers could come into play. Green Bay has historically been cautious about giving up high draft picks, especially in the first round, but when it comes to a player of Parsons' caliber, they might need to reconsider that stance. The opportunity to add an elite pass rusher to their defense, especially one in his prime, could be worth making that kind of trade. Of course, it's all speculation at this point. Parsons might stay in Dallas, especially since the Cowboys have a way of eventually reaching agreements with their stars. But if things really do fall apart, if negotiations totally break down and Parsons makes it clear he wants out, Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, should be on the phone with Jerry Jones immediately. This is a rare chance to acquire a player who can immediately elevate your defense and help push the team towards Super Bowl contention. And let's not forget, the NFL landscape is always shifting. The market for top-tier pass rushers is hotter than ever, and the Packers, who have been building their roster with a keen eye on sustainability and future success, should be prepared to strike if the opportunity presents itself. Parsons' potential trade is a storyline that's developing in real time, and it's one that Packers fans should keep a close eye on because it could define the future of the NFC North, and maybe even the NFC as a whole. So, what does this all mean for the Packers? Well, first, it's about staying vigilant. The team's front office needs to monitor this situation closely, and if Parsons becomes available, they need to be ready to act quickly. Whether it's a first-round pick, a player swap, or a combination of both, Green Bay has the assets and the cap space to make a serious run at him. And with the right negotiations, Parsons could be a Packers player before too long, bringing a new level of pass-rushing talent that the team has been craving for years. Looking ahead, this scenario also puts a spotlight on the importance of smart contract negotiations and managing relationships with agents. NFL is a league where timing, perception, and strategic decisions can alter the course of a franchise's future. The Packers, with GM Brian Gutekunst at the helm, have shown they're willing to be aggressive when the right opportunity comes along. And right now, the situation with Parsons could be that opportunity. It's a risk, yes, but also a potential reward that could reshape their defense and their championship prospects. Now, I want to hear from you, the fans. What do you think about this situation? Do you believe Parsons will stay in Dallas? Or do you think he's destined for a new team if things continue to sour? Would you want the Packers to make a bold move and trade for him? Which players or draft picks would you be willing to give up? These are questions that make this scenario so exciting and so unpredictable. The NFL is full of surprises, and the next few weeks could be crucial in determining whether Parsons ends up in Green Bay or remains a Cowboy. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. Whether it's big trades, draft rumors, or game analysis, we're here to keep you in the loop and to share the passion that makes being a Packers fan so special. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.